Have you ever considered that your most profound struggles might not be mere obstacles, but intentional gateways to a deeper understanding of yourself? In our fast-paced world, the allure of instant enlightenment is tempting. Yet, true spiritual awakening is a transformative journey that requires patience, introspection, and resilience. By exploring the interconnected realms of metaphysics, philosophy of mind, comparative religion, and social and spiritual psychology, we uncover a path that transcends superficial spirituality, leading to genuine self-realization. Throughout history, various traditions have identified three pivotal tests on the path to higher consciousness: letting go, patience, and faith. These challenges are universal, echoing through ancient philosophies and even resonating with modern explorations in quantum physics. By understanding and embracing these tests, we can navigate the intricate journey of spiritual evolution with greater clarity and purpose. The first test: letting go. Letting go is often misconstrued as a loss or defeat. However, in the context of spiritual growth, it signifies a realignment with our true essence. Our identities are frequently entangled with external attachments, relationships, material possessions, societal roles that shape our self-perception. Social and spiritual psychology suggests that these attachments can possess us, leading to a fragmented sense of self. Carl Jung's The Red Book offers profound insights into this process. Jung embarked on an introspective journey, confronting his unconscious shadows through vivid, dreamlike dialogues. He discovered that true individuation, or wholeness, requires releasing these illusions and embracing the depths of the psyche. This act of letting go is not about discarding love or relationships, but purifying them from ownership and falsehoods. In Confucian philosophy, personal harmony arises when we move beyond obsession over external forms and realign with internal virtue. Reflect on this. What current attachments are quietly steering your life, and what might you gain by loosening their grip? The second test: dismantling the ego. Beyond external attachments lies the intricate web of our ego identity. Dismantling this facade is akin to a symbolic death, paving the way for rebirth and authenticity. Soren Kierkegaard, in The Sickness Unto Death, explores how despair stems from clinging to a false self. He posits that releasing this illusion, though painful, opens the door to genuine selfhood and a profound faith in the self before the divine. Postmodern philosophy challenges rigid narratives, emphasizing the importance of unraveling illusions to attain true understanding. In the realm of New Age spirituality, the ego layer is often identified as a primary barrier to enlightenment. However, transcending the ego demands more than positive thinking. It requires deep introspection and the courage to face one's inner void. Consider, how would your life transform if your worth wasn't tied to roles, titles, or societal approval? The third test: embracing patience. In an era dominated by immediacy, patience emerges as a formidable spiritual discipline. True patience aligns the soul with a sacred rhythm, distinct from society's clock-bound demands. Friedrich Nietzsche's concept of the eternal return, introduced into gay science, invites us to endure life's cyclical nature with courage. He challenges us to live as though each moment will recur infinitely, prompting a reevaluation of our actions and values. Phenomenology emphasizes immersing ourselves fully in the present moment, unhurried by external pressures. Similarly, in quantum physics, certain phenomena only reveal themselves under precise conditions, mirroring how personal transformations unfold in their own time. Engage in this practice. Spend 5 minutes daily in stillness. Observe any restlessness and identify areas where you feel the urge to rush. What underlying insecurities might this reveal? The fourth test: cultivating faith amidst uncertainty. Faith, in the spiritual sense, is not naive optimism but existential resilience. It involves trusting the unseen and maintaining equilibrium in the face of life's uncertainties. Confucius, in the Doctrine of the Mean, teaches the virtue of balance, emphasizing the importance of holding steady even when outcomes are uncertain. In the philosophy of science, humility before the unknown is valued. Scientists demonstrate faith in their processes, experimentation, and observation, even when immediate proof is elusive. Similarly, practitioners of sound healing and vibrational therapy trust in tangible frequencies to effect change, exemplifying faith that transcends purely rational frameworks. Reflect. What anchors you when external circumstances destabilize? How might you strengthen this anchor through daily cultivation? The fifth test: releasing relational attachments. Our connections with others, romantic, familial, or friendships, often come with unspoken expectations and attachments. True love sets both parties free, untainted by dependency or control. Adi Shankaracharya's Vivekananda underscores the importance of discernment between the eternal self and transient phenomena, suggesting that clinging in relationships arises from mistaking the temporary for the ultimate reality. Various spiritual traditions celebrate love as unconditional only when it is free from dependency. In Wicca and pagan studies, the principle of harm none includes oneself, implying that toxic entanglement harm both participants and disrupt spiritual equilibrium. Take time to write down any unspoken expectations you place on loved ones. Are you seeking validation, or are you genuinely giving space for mutual growth? The sixth test: overcoming the lure of instant gratification. Modern culture's addiction to speed undermines the spiritual test of patience. Thomas Aquinas, in On Being and Essence, differentiates between existence and essence. In spiritual terms, patience provides the space for one's true essence to unfold naturally, rather than being forced or artificially accelerated. Sociology explains our cultural aversion to waiting as a byproduct of hyperconsumerism, which trains us to expect immediate gratification, leading to a perpetual chase of fleeting satisfaction. In chakra healing, lower chakras are associated with immediate survival instincts, whereas patience and trust are anchored in higher energy centers governing insight and spiritual understanding. Practice mindfulness during small tasks, like waiting in line or sitting in traffic. Notice your physical sensations, thoughts, and impulses. Ask yourself, what am I rushing toward, and what discomfort am I trying to avoid? Over time, these small acts of awareness recondition the nervous system, helping you move from reaction to presence. This is how spiritual progress quietly matures, through patient activism in everyday moments. The seventh test: faith when logic breaks down. There comes a time on the path of awakening when logic simply isn't enough. When things fall apart, when plans collapse, relationships dissolve, or health fails, faith isn't just helpful, it becomes your spiritual backbone. Meister Eckhart's sermons captures this beautifully. He speaks of the breakthrough into the Godhead, a space beyond names, forms, and even beliefs, attainable only through complete surrender. Faith for Eckhart isn't belief in something. It's resting in what remains when everything else is stripped away. Logic, one of the pillars of analytic philosophy, serves us well up to a point. But even reason has boundaries. True spiritual awakening begins when we accept that some experiences can't be rationally dissected. They must be lived, felt, and embraced. This is echoed in esoteric Christianity, which emphasizes the interior revelation of divine presence rather than rigid dogma. Faith, then, is not blind allegiance. It's the quiet fire that holds you steady through the night of unknowing. Try this. For the next 7 days, keep a small faith journal. Each day, note where doubt crept in, and then counter it with a small affirmation of trust. Observe how your perspective begins to shift. These moments are the groundwork for lasting inner resilience. The eighth test: crisis as catalyst. If you've ever felt like you were breaking down, you're not alone. In fact, you might have been breaking through. Crises, far from being roadblocks, are often catalysts for consciousness expansion. J. Krishnamurti, in his commentaries on living, emphasizes that true transformation arises not from escaping discomfort, but from meeting it with total awareness. He urges us to look directly at our pain, our fears, and our fragmented thoughts, without judgment, without escape. In shamanic traditions, Crises are often seen as initiations. Soul loss, as some shamans call it, can mark the beginning of a spiritual reckoning that ultimately leads to greater wholeness. Similarly, in the philosophy of mind, the idea of emergent consciousness suggests that chaos or breakdowns can reorganize the psyche at a higher level of integration. Ask yourself, what was your most recent emotional or existential crisis? What personal truth emerged from it? And what would it look like if you trusted that pain as a messenger, not just a problem? The ninth test, timeless stillness and sovereignty. Once you've walked through pain, faith, and waiting, another layer is revealed, spiritual sovereignty. This is the inner stillness that cannot be shaken by outer chaos. In today's hyperstimulated world, stillness is an act of rebellion and of healing. Merging the lens of phenomenology with the practice of yoga, especially karma and Raja Yoga, we begin to see patience not as a passive lull, but as conscious embodied choice. Swami Vivekananda's Karma Yoga offers a potent insight here. He teaches that selfless action, done without clinging to outcomes, plants the seeds of spiritual sovereignty. You begin to act not from fear or ambition, but from your center, from truth. This patience isn't the patience of waiting in line, it's the patience of the soul trusting its sacred rhythm. Aesthetics reminds us that beauty isn't always fast or flashy. It often lives in subtlety, in quiet presence. Political philosophy teaches that the greatest revolutions, like the civil rights movement, demanded enduring patience, a refusal to rush the process, and an unshakable belief in the cause. Ask yourself, where in your own mission can you practice patient activism? Where are you being invited to hold a vision, act with integrity, and allow results to unfold in divine time? The 10th test, faith in a mystery. Not everything in the spiritual journey will make sense, and it's not supposed to. Some insights arrive through paradox, dreams, or uncanny synchronicities that defy logic. This is where the faith journey gets intimate, where your soul whispers louder than the world. Paulo Coelho's lesser-known novel Brida captures this nuance. Unlike The Alchemist, Brida explores a woman's journey into mystical practices, where she learns to trust her inner voice, even when it leads her into the unknown. Faith here becomes a compass that doesn't point north, but inward. Across religious traditions, there are what scholars call threshold experiences. In Christianity, it's grace. In Islam, it's baraka. In Buddhism, it's satori. These moments often emerge when the rational mind surrenders and the soul takes the lead. Numerology may seem esoteric, but many find that repeated patterns, recurring numbers or symbols, act as affirmations from the universe, nudging them toward the unseen path. Try this, take a sacred pause. Sit in silence. Ask yourself, where in my life am I being guided, even if I cannot yet see the outcome? Write down whatever surfaces. Don't judge it. Just listen. The 11th test, the ego's last defense. Just when we think we're close to awakening, the ego makes its final stand. It might come disguised as a spiritual superiority complex, or an identity built on being the awakened one. It's sneaky like that. But transformation isn't about becoming someone new. It's about shedding who you never were. In commentaries on Living, J. Krishnamurti emphasizes that observing thought without interference leads to profound clarity. When a crisis hits, that very intensity gives us the energy and presence to see more clearly than ever before, if we remain aware. In shamanism, these final initiations are sometimes marked by symbolic death, a moment when the soul is stripped bare before it can fully reclaim its power. From a philosophy of mind lens, such crises often trigger emergent awareness, a restructuring of the psyche that prepares it to house higher consciousness. Reflect on this. In your last big challenge, where did you resist and where did you surrender? What parts of your identity were challenged and what new strength was quietly born? Final section, the Symphony of Awakening. We've traveled far, not in miles, but in awareness. Through letting go, patience, and faith, you've seen how each test is not a single hurdle, but a recurring invitation to transcend. Spiritual awakening isn't linear. It's not a checklist. It's a cyclical, evolving journey that meets you again and again, always at a deeper level. These spiritual tests are more than metaphors. They are milestones in soul evolution. You're not becoming more spiritual. You're simply remembering who you've always been beneath the noise. So here's what I want you to carry forward. This path doesn't require you to add more spiritual content to your life. It asks you to subtract, to release, trust, and wait with wisdom. Your journey toward higher consciousness isn't out there. It's already unfolding inside you. And if this message resonated, share it with someone questioning their faith, with someone stuck in impatience, with someone who's struggling to let go. Because together, as we grow in conscious living and inner resilience, we create a world not of perfect people, but of awakened souls. So, where are you in your self-discovery journey today? Let me know in the comments. Let's walk this path together.